So the Fara, or Fara, not sure how you pronounce it, F gravel bike. Fara, I'm going to call it Fara. It's a company based in Norway. So they should know a bit about riding off-road. They do a range of bikes, road bikes, and this is their gravel offering. They do an all-road one as well. And it's a carbon frame. Carbon fork, and the silhouette, when I first saw it, I thought, yeah, it looks like a road bike, and I was a bit intimidated, thinking it's going to be really twitchy, that front end. But sort of instantly, when I rode it, the head angle is suited to off-road. It's not twitchy at all, actually. It's got loads of clearance. Fara claim up to 50mm, and I think that is sort of underestimating. This is a 43mm gravel king, and there's an enormous amount of room there. It's got a few mounts. It's got the top tube mount, 2 sets of bottle cages, and this, which I presume is for the bespoke bag that Fara offer. It's got the mounts on the fork. The bolts are missing. This is a test and review bike, so they tend to get a bit abused. It wasn't particularly clean when it arrived. It's got apex axis shifting, so electronic shifting. It's got an absolutely enormous chain ring, which is only 40 tufts, but looks enormous to me. Maybe it's just because it's so cut out. It's got aero bars here, and these are quite narrow. I think these are 42. I'll measure them, and you'll see the measurement now on the screen. So quite narrow, really, and it's got quite a long stem there. Again, I've not measured it, but I imagine it's 90-100mm, which is quite long for the type of bike I normally ride. As I said, this is what makes it look racy. But Fara say this is their adventure bike. So yeah, I mean, it's got a rack mount there. And you can fit them for mud guards. It's got mud guards mounts here. It comes with a cross brace in the box. It's a 27.2 seat post. There's no routing that I can see for a dropper post, and obviously being 27.2, you'd be limited anyway. Dropper posts are great if you're exploring, especially if you don't know where you're going and you might come across someone unexpected. Carbon seat post, and this little thing here is a magnet, and again a bespoke bag clips onto that. It's got the quite fashionable now frame storage, which is ideal for keeping the sausage rolling. And I said 2 bottle mounts. And that's pretty much it. There's nothing. Oh, there's a mount underneath, so you could put a tool cage or an extra bottle under there. It comes with Gravel King tyres, which I don't know what the conditions are like in Norway at this time of year. It's near the end of March in the UK, but it's horrifically wet and muddy, and Gravel Kings just don't cut the mustard. Those close space knobs just clog up, and there's nothing on the shoulders to grip when you turn in. But you know, in defence of Fara, you can't spec a tyre that is going to compete in the conditions the whole world round. So tyres are relatively inexpensive, so you know, you change them to whatever you want. So I really can't criticise them. Gearing, as I said, is 40 on the front and a 42 on the back. Seems plenty enough at the moment. I usually run a bigger cassette, but what you might find is if you did go bike packing on this and you've got heavily laden bike over rough terrain, you might want slightly lower gearing. Again, that's the good thing about SRAM. You could fit a much smaller chainring there easily. It's harder to do with Shimano's gravel offerings. And what it has got is integrated cabling, and I'm not a fan of this. I mean, at least it doesn't go through the bars and through the stem. It just goes through the headset, which still is a bit of a pain in the arse if you want to change the headset bearings. But there you go, that's the current fashion for aero is everything, which I can assure you it is not. Yeah, disc brakes, definitely need those off-road. It's got a unique, well, I've not seen this for a while. It's got a rear mount bracket for the front brake caliper, which actually makes it much easier to adjust than when the bolts are on the other side and hard to get to. So, I mean, it'd be nice if there was a cover on that, but there you go, it works. So the Fara gravel, let's have a proper ride of it off-road. Funny shaped cows. I remember when this reservoir was worryingly low. It's not low anymore. So I've been riding this Fara F gravel bike for a couple of weeks now. You can see by the state of it that I've been riding up my local trails, which I thought is the best way to compare, because I know how my gravel bike performs on my local stuff, so that's why I put this through. But there are two things I have an issue with the bike, because on the website, and let me quote it, it says it's got a wide tyre clearance with a rugged carbon frame, empowering you to tackle the roughest terrain. It's shred ready. The geometry is orientated towards fun side of gravel with a shorter wheelbase and sporty handling. You can pack more, down tube and top tube mounts, blah blah blah, hatch on it, robust construction. You know, I get that. It's pitched to be a fun, go anywhere bike to make you smile. You know, you can go on weekends away, you can ride up and down mountains on it, because, and you know, and MTB trails. That's what they're pitching it towards. It'll take a 50mm tyre. It'll actually take more than a 50mm tyre. There's plenty of clearance. But what I have an issue with is the way they've spec'd it. Now, I mentioned earlier the tyres. The tyres are horrendous in any sort of UK winter, spring, autumn conditions. Brilliant in the summer, but not now. But you know, I mentioned that you can't really spec a bike for the whole of the world, so at some point these Gravel Kings are going to be brilliant for someone. But the other thing is the bar and stem. This is far too narrow for an adventure bike, a bike that's meant to go anywhere, meant to be on trails that you've never ridden before. You don't know what's around the next corner. They're far too narrow. This is a 56cm bike. I'm 6 foot, it fits me perfectly, but the bars are too narrow. They're 42mm. There's absolutely no flare. They're quite a long reach, and combined with this stem, it's far too long. Now, if you're riding unbound, if you were racing on it, you're doing the King's Cup, which is basically round around a flat field with some sand, awesome, this is brilliant. You'd probably win on it. But if you were like riding across a ploughed field and then dropping down to a stream and then going through a forest and you don't know what's around the next corner, this gives you no confidence. The aero bars, why do you want aero bars when you're buying bike packing? Unless you're racing, and I admit lots of people do go racing, but I would say the vast majority of us do not go racing. We might do one of these glorious gravel events, but they are not the Silk Road, they are not unbound gravel. This needs a wider bar with some flare on it. It needs a slightly shorter stem because the frame is absolutely awesome. It rides really nicely. All the stiffness stops your pedaling power going from side to side. Everything you put through there goes to the back wheel. They've even spec'd it with a T47 bottom bracket. There's no push fit here. You can get a tool in there and unwind it. It's threaded. Brilliant, Fara, brilliant. Those bars do not belong on this bike. It's got a great seat post. It's 27.2. It's round. It's round like a normal seat post. It's not oval, it's not square. I'm looking at you, Giant Bikes. Why do you spec your bikes with a non-round seat post so you can only use your products? Oh wait, that's why. Anyway, it's got a round seat post. It's got a little magnet here to fit the bespoke bike packing bag. There are little mounts underneath here for their bespoke frame bag. It's all pointed towards adventure riding. It's not pointed towards narrow bar racing with a long stem with your head right down and your bum up in the air. It's a great bike. I absolutely love it. The geometry is perfect for UK riding because it's quite slack, but it's not at all boring on the road. And even though they say it's got a short wheelbase, I've had no issues with toe overlap. There's plenty of room. If you were running mud guards, I don't think you'd have trouble with toe overlap. And this is a 43mm tyre. There's plenty of room in there if you wanted to put a mud guard in. And there are hidden mounts for you to put a mud guard on. It's a brilliant bike. This bike, I think, retails at 3,300. Don't look at the Norwegian krona price because you'll have a heart attack because it's like 70,000 or something. I even got on well with the saddle, this Physique saddle. All the Physique saddles I tried before I didn't like. This one's fine. So, Fara F gravel. Awesome bike. Needs a different handlebar. That's the only thing I can find wrong with it. Well, apart from the integrated headset bearings, having to take the cables out to change the bearings thing. But you know, everyone's going that way now, so it's annoying. But so yeah, Fara, perfect bike, but if only for the UK. Change the bars. I know you can change the bars, but it's, you know, it's a hidden expense because, you know, fair enough, you can change the tyres. It probably max cost you 100 quid for 2 tyres. You can change those yourself. There's a lot of people who, because of this integrated design, are not going to want to change these handlebars for something a bit more adventure-y rather than racy. Change the bars. You've got a perfect bike. I really like it. The only thing is though, on today's ride, I've been chased by 3 dogs, so it seems to attract dogs. Is that a drawback? And like a lot of modern bikes, this has got storage in the down tube. It's ideal for So the Fara F gravel bike, what a stunning bike. It's really good. Just a few or a couple of component issues. If Fara, if they spec this with a wider, more flared adventure bar, it will be absolutely awesome and like really good. Hopefully they'll watch this and maybe they will spec it with something like that. If you'd like to watch other videos of me reviewing bikes, eating sausage rolls, potentially being chased by dogs, then please take the time to subscribe. It really helps my little channel to get subscribers. It also helps if you click the like button. So hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.